Hi, Tim. Thanks for taking a few moments out of your time here at CAN to sit with us and answer a few questions. So I wanted to just start, everyone's been talking about data clean rooms, and I think there's still a lot of confusion about what that really means. Can you just explain really simply what a data clean room is?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. Firstly, I think there is a bit of confusion about the term. It's everywhere, but it's perhaps poorly defined. So, at Habu, we think of a data clean room really as a construct for secure data collaboration, right? It's not a place, that's the first thing. So room is a bit of a misleading term. It's more of a construct for how we can securely leverage data between different parties. Could be SSPs, could be advertisers, publishers, but do so in a privacy-safe way, leveraging modern technology. We try and keep it as simple as that, really.
I think that was a great answer and makes it really clear for people who don't know. But I guess one of the other big questions is, why is now the best time to be considering a data clean room?
I think there's so much turbulence in the market right now, concerns around forms of addressability. I think we've seen so much around regulation and privacy changes that this really is just a natural evolution of many of the things we've been doing, right? So, I like to remind our advertiser clients, our agency clients, publisher clients that the use cases are not actually changing. The toolkit's changing, right? We still need to plan, activate, measure media, and it's just that instead of necessarily always doing that through a tag on a page or, direct file drops, these things don't work anymore. Clean rooms are coming to kind of evolve the way that we execute the use case. And so people are talking about it now, I think, because there are some existential threats. I think there's, more broadly speaking, quite a lot of confusion in the market just about how things are going to shake out in the next 18 months. And I'm encouraging everybody to be testing, learning and iterating around clean rooms today, because I do think it's, part defensive strategy to be looking at other ways.
Right. And so I think you hinted a little bit at this with that answer, but what are the biggest misconceptions or the biggest misconception that you hear most frequently about data clean rooms?
I think the number one thing I hear all the time is that the people kind of consider it to be almost like a centralized place, an infrastructure that we have to get into the room. And I think that's something that, probably the nomenclature's not done the category too many favors over time. So some people are now referring to clean rooms more as data collaboration platforms, which I like as a term, and the industry loves an acronym, so we might shorten that. But really, data collaboration is the key thing. It's not about, bringing everybody into one specific place and merging data in a specific place. It's really around how do we facilitate these joins, right? Data is one of the key kind of currencies of media, and do so in a way where actually we don't need to move the data anywhere, right? I think that regulation and privacy want us to leave it where it already was, and I think that's exciting that we can do that now.
Yeah, agree completely. And so as the industry continues to talk about all these topics, and I know right now retail media is a big one, is there a room for data clean rooms to play there in that space, and how does it benefit the retail sector?
Retail media is not just some kind of new hype cycle here. I think it's actually really, really kind of important and transformative for a lot of traditional ad tech businesses as they move in. And of course, it's data rich. Retailers have a huge number of different consumer and transaction and store level signals, which are perfect ingredients for clean rooms, because you're not going to move your transaction files out to a third-party provider today. I think there's some really interesting angles, though, specific to retail media and clean rooms, and even the Habu and Equitive partnership, where obviously fragmentation in retail is going to become a problem for the buy side, in my opinion. And so as we think about that kind of mid-tier of different retailers coming into the programmatic space, we do need partners like yourselves to be able to provide unification. I think a lot of the work you've done previously with traditional publishers is going to really play well into retail with data clean rooms as part of that.
Yeah, we tend to agree. And what do you think lies ahead in the year for data clean room technology?
I think adoption is going to increase, obviously. I think what we've seen is that over the last 2-3 years, innovators have kind of really taken leaps ahead of the kind of mass market. And so those people who are very data rich, very savvy, have been able to kind of get into the game early. But it has been a fairly exclusive club for the first clean room launch years. It's been walled gardens, it's been major media companies, major retailers. What we see is this kind of trickle-down economy happening now, where I think more and more people can get into the game, whether that be direct, by building a clean room as it becomes easier to use, easier to transact, or whether it be indirect, right? And they're working through partners like their SSP or through demand side partners who are going to be working with clean rooms as well.
So Equative is the first SSP to partner with you guys. In your opinion, what benefits does this offer to data clean room clients?
I think it's really exciting to see a kind of such a well-networked and well-known platform jumping into clean rooms and partnering with us actually. I think for one, it makes sense to partner in this case because advertisers and publishers are looking for a trusted third party as relates to data. So there's a kind of clean line when you have Equative's tools or Equative's tools, and then you have a trusted third party in Habu who can plug in and enable the kind of matching to happen. And I think there's a huge value out there as well around the services layer that you guys can provide. I do think that sometimes we race to the technology without thinking about operationalizing it. And I just know that businesses that have been at the game for a while, have great teams like yours, have the ability to layer on additional services that are going to accelerate adoption and accelerate use case value realization.
Yeah, we're looking forward very much to working with you. And thanks again for taking a few minutes to share some thoughts with us. And hopefully we'll see you here next year at Cannes.
I hope so too. Yeah, thanks, Amy. Cheers.